That's what I want to hear. Hey. 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 Hey.
Ah. Yeah.
You know what it is. I'm back. I'm back. XO Sports Talk at its best. You know what time it is. Episode 95. Let's go, fellas. Let's jump right into it, man. Ain't no playing around tonight. I'm happy to see you guys.
Folks, you just can't make it up. Through the rain, sleet, and snow, he is just like this.
Yes, he is. That he is.
What is going on?
Everything, man. Everything. Woo!
Terry, how you doing?
I'm good, man. You know, another day in the neighborhood.
Another day in the neighborhood. Okay, Mr. Rogers. Brian.
Got to make it through somehow.
They got to make it through somehow.
Little brother, how are you?
I am good, man. I am good. Deprived of some Baskin Robbins, so make up for that. Man.
Say what?
Ice cream, man.
Cold, man.
Oh, man. I'm trying to be good. Ice cream. It's all about the cream.
Cold, man.
Well, you don't like Ashley's ice cream?
That's garbage. Even T was like,
Hey, Ashley's ice cream. We love you, huh?
Yeah.
He didn't mean that.
Well, I don't know. If they give me free ice cream, then it might taste a little better, but
maybe they were thinking about it. They you done shot that down.
Well, here you go.
Oh boy!
And the big Kahuna. How are you, Emerson?
Yahtzee! Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Listen, man. There's so much going on in the sports world tonight. Got the NBA lottery, man. We got the playoffs, man. NHL for the Stanley Cup is going on. WNBA is back, man. There's a whole lot going on. Let's just rock it, bro. Let's get it. Let's get it.
You done?
Get it.
I think so.
Okay.
Do it.
He just compressed the whole show in a good 2 minutes.
Listen, man. It's all here.
Okay. Terry, please tell them about the subscribe.
XO Sports Talk would like to thank our viewers, listeners, and subscribers for their support. If this is your first time checking us out on YouTube, the show is also streaming on all your favorite podcast platforms, Google, Spotify, and iHeart, just to name a few. If you want to stay up to date with our latest videos and the latest news and rumors going on in the world of sports, hit that subscribe button, press the like button, and gently tap that notification bell.
Yeah.
You can also share our channel with your friends and family by clicking on the share button. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's run.
Let's go.
Send a shout out to our boy Malcolm, who couldn't be with us tonight. Malcolm, man, what's up, bro? And then we got a call earlier from Coach Jeff. Coach Jeff, thanks for calling in, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hitting us with some basketball knowledge.
Coach Jeff, yeah.
Now, the NBA.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait until after the NBA championship to do this, but the NBA owners took a page from Donald Trump's show, The Apprentice, telling coaches, "You're fired. Get your bags. Get out of here. You're no longer working for me. I don't need you. Never did want you. It was somebody else. I should have been coaching the team. It would have been fantastic. It would have been the best team ever in NBA history.
Man.
I could have coached them. I could have even went on the court and did a triple-double.
Oh,
That's just
yeah?
how good I am."
I would like to see that hair flap around on the court.
Hey,
that was a good
leave my hair alone.
impression you did there, man.
Pretty good, man. That's pretty good, Donald.
That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Well,
All we need to do is get you that little wig.
I told a gentleman once at work, Mr. Phillips, and this is at the time when Hillary was running against Donald. And I turned to him. He was walking away from me. And I said, Mr. Phillips. And he turned around and I said, Bill, I promise, if Hillary becomes president, I will be the best first man ever in United States history. I will not commit adultery. I will not lie to the American people.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hell, you know I'm just joking.
Pretty good, man.
Oh, boy.
Thank you. But
Second call.
yeah, and it's a sad thing. There's certain voices I can do, and I would give them all away if I could just sing. If I could just hold a note.
What song you want to sing, Gore?
Well, yeah, for you, Old Man River, going down the mudslide. How about that one?
There's auto tunes. You can sing. Anybody can sing. There's auto tunes.
Well, here's one for you.
That's true.
I did an impression one time, and my own brother looked at me with a strange look, and he goes, "How come you can do all these voices and you can't sing?"
Hey, man, don't worry about it, man. They got voiceover tracks now, man. You can add all that to it, man,
But let's get into it. Monty Williams, coach of the Phoenix Suns, fired. Mike Budenholzer of the Milwaukee Bucks, fired. Nick Nurse, Toronto Raptors, fired. Guys, what do you see in this? Terry.
I mean, it's hard to kind of comprehend for me. You take Milwaukee Bucks coming off a championship championship year just 2 years ago, with relatively the same team that you had. They made it to the playoffs. They had some injuries along the way. That's something I didn't understand, but maybe that's something going on internally that the owners didn't like, or the owner didn't like. Monty Williams, it's a tough call there, right? I mean, he had a very talented team. Again, another team that made it to the finals 2 years ago. You got the Chris Paul injury that took place. So I don't get it. And they traded away a lot of the talent they had. So I don't understand it. I really don't understand what's going on. But hey, that's the perks of being an owner. You have something that you don't like, you can hire and fire people whenever you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Emerson.
Hey, yeah, Terry. That's called billionaire status. That's what that's called. Yeah. Let me start off in Phoenix, and I want to talk about Monty Williams. I thought he did a pretty good job over the last couple of years. Then they made the trade for Kevin Durant, and when you make a trade for Kevin Durant, giving away all those pieces, giving up all that draft capital, it's a win, and you have to win right now. That means we're all in to win this year. I understand they say
Can I
CP3.
ask you a question right there, Emerson?
Sure.
You just said the pieces that were given up to get Kevin Durant.
Yes.
How come nobody's not looking at the general manager?
Hey, we can talk about him too. But when I have a talent like Kevin Durant, I'm expected to win. When you give away the whole farm, your bench players, and all those other assets they gave up, draft capital they gave up to get arguably one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Kevin Durant, he did not bring us to the promised land. He didn't do what he needed to do. Monty Williams was unable to make those adjustments when he needed to make those adjustments. And I'm sorry, if you have a Devin Booker and a Kevin Durant on your team, your odds of winning and going deep into the playoffs are very good. He wasn't able to make those adjustments, and the end result is you're fired. And when I move over to Milwaukee, coach Mike Bodenhauser, listen, you had a team earlier on in the year. I think they won like 22 games in a row. You had Giannis, you got a deep bench where you got Brooke Lopez, you got Holiday, you have all those other pieces you added at the trade deadline, and people you signed in the offseason, Chris Middleton. I mean, listen, you're just coming off, like Terry said, 2 years ago, you were in the championship and you added more pieces and you were a better team this year. I'm sorry about the injuries, but injuries are part of the game. You didn't show up, coach. You didn't do the X and O's that you needed to do to propel your team to move forward into the NBA towards another NBA championship. And Nick Nurse, I'm sorry, Nick Nurse. I know you went through some troubles out there with some major roster changes there. You know, I'm sure Kawhi leaving, going to play back in with the Clippers. And then you had some other pieces that were moved around. Van Vliet, he got a lot of money. He was rewarded for some of the things he had done in previous years. Your team just didn't step up to the plate this year. And a lot of that falls on the coach. The coach job is to get my team to the next level. And like we talked about that billionaire status, Terry, when you're a billionaire, you can do whatever the hell you want. And he said, you're fired.
Ain't that a shame? Brian.
And I'll start with Nurse. I thought they just needed a change in voice, different tone. So that one's kind of easy. I didn't have a problem with that. He's been there a while. So I thought they just needed a change. When we get to Milwaukee, I thought that coach. This is an extension off of. Was it last year or the year before when they played the Nets, where he was reluctant to put Giannis on Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, when he played Miami, he showed how he got out coached very easy. And he, hold on one second here, fellas. Caller calling in. So I thought, with that being said, we got Jeff on the line. But I thought he got out coached. You had Jimmy Butler basically beat the team, beat Milwaukee. And I don't understand how he let that happen. Monty Williams got a raw deal. I thought the trade that they made for Kevin Durant, it was good. It sounded good, but they gave up too many players for Kevin Durant. They had no bench. And if you look at them, compared to Denver, you got 2 star players. You got Kevin Durant, you got Joker, you got Devin Booker, and you got, what's the guard? I can't think of his name for Denver. What's his name? Jamal Murray. Yeah. So then you look at it, and then Denver has a better bench. So I thought they got beat, and Monty just got a raw deal.
Yeah, they got beat by a better team.
Yeah. Oh, and we got Jeff on the line. Yeah. Jeff,
Coach
you
Jeff,
can jump in.
Yeah, Coach Jeff.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah.
A couple
Coach, you're
things.
live, Coach.
I'm always live, so thank you. Monty Williams is like, you got to remember, Chris Paul. You got to have somebody that can get you organized, right? So, especially offensively in the playoffs, it's like the name of the game is to outscore the other team, and basically Phoenix became one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
I think what hurt Phoenix more than what hurt Phoenix is like a double-edged sword. So Chris Paul gets hurt, your point guard, which basically takes out who? Ayton.
Mm-hmm.
Because because you run sets and plays, and most of the time, the point guard is the entry level to the big guy. Now, you will have KD and Booker occasionally give, lobs or dunks and stuff like that, but that's not their nature. Their nature is to score.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure, and I haven't looked at it, so I'm sure you look at 8 points, probably the last couple of games, you look it up, I'm quite sure it's nowhere near his average.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier, is like when you're able to score easy baskets in basketball, it uplifts the team. Your defense is already set, so you don't have to worry about transition baskets because you score so close to the basket that everybody on the perimeter is already halfway back.
Yeah.
So sometimes your offense can basically empower the other team's offense. Think about what I'm saying. You take a bad shot, that's the first pass to a fast break for the other team.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not organized on offense, and then somebody just comes down, take a quick shot, and next thing you know, you turn around, you're like, oh, I didn't even know he was shooting that. Next thing you know, the other team's off to the races.
Yeah, that was a good point.
But that's
Okay.
so not having a guy like Ayton, that slows down Denver. Now, granted, they definitely got a high-powered offense, but your offense can't help their offense.
Right.
If they just outscore you and beat you, they beat you. But you can't come down, and that's what makes games go from 10 to 20 real quick, because emotionally the other team tries to make a 5-point shot.
Yeah, get it back all in one. Sure.
So there's no setting. So they come down and they get caught up in the emotion of the game and feel like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then next thing you know, you go from 12 to 20 real quick. You're like, what the hell just happened? Well, that one possession empowered the other team. So now you got guys who, go ahead.
Jeff, but would you say that Phoenix gave up too much? And would you two parts to the question, would you say Phoenix gave up too much? And would you put more of the onus on the general manager?
Well, the general manager is there to do what? What's his job?
Get players to win.
Yeah, exactly. To put the best team possible. So if you tell any general manager at that point in time that you have any chance of getting Kevin Durant, you do it. Because we know it's a what type of league?
You got to win now.
League. It's a shooting league.
Huh?
It's a shooting league.
And well, but I'm saying the league is run by stars.
Yeah.
You got a chance to get a top 15 player of all time still in his prime. You take that chance, and sometimes it doesn't work. Barkley, Pippen, and them, it didn't work in Houston.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's why I had no problems with them doing the trade. I didn't think they was gonna win it all, even with Durant.
But do you blame the coach? If you
no.
How could you blame the coach and you got no bench?
Well,
you got this start.
Well,
you got
it's not so much you're blaming the coach, is that the coach is taking the blame. So it's like we need change. Monty Williams last couple of games, what's the last 2 games in the playoffs? They lost by 25. So when something like that happens, and the general manager is looking down at the team, is like, wait a minute, this is what you're going to give me for the second year in a row? I have a job to do. Now, Williams
called
had
saving your
nothing
own
to do
butt.
with Chris Paul getting hurt. Well, isn't that what we're supposed to do? I mean, as the general manager, he's not there to win games. He's there to try to give you the best team possible. It's the coach's job to win games. So the general manager did his job. Like, did he give up too much? Nobody said that at the time, marginally. Some people said it, but it's like, hey, I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am.
Yeah.
You don't pass on that, because then you flip it the other way. And let's say things is the same team, and without Durant, they got the pseudo players. Do they still win if Chris Paul gets hurt?
Yeah. We're going to have to take it to the next topic.
I got one question for you guys, real quick. So do you think that Monty Williams, what some people would say, inability to get the best out of DeAndre Ayton had something, and we're talking last year and this year, may have had something to do with him, and plus add in the friction that is reportedly that they have. Do you think that has something with Monty Williams possibly getting fired? Because I do believe sure DeAndre Ayton he's got a ton of potential.
He was underused. They didn't use him correctly.
Okay.
They did not use Ayton correctly. Period.
They never really did.
Right.
Since he's been there, they never really ran the offense through him or something like that. They never did that.
And I'm sure he was tired of his name being mentioned in trade talks all throughout the whole year.
And
here's a question I ask you: is Ayton all NBA player?
No.
So why would you be running your offense through him?
Nah.
He's a skilled big man.
But
he's a very skilled big man.
He is
a very skilled big man.
He's a very skilled big man with high level perimeter players around him, correct?
Grab the rebound.
Nah, he can do more than that though. He's a skilled big man, like you said, but
I wouldn't run my offense through him.
You also gotta put in perspective who he had around him in the perimeter. When Phoenix name the guys that was on when they went to the finals. You had a healthy Paul, you had a healthy Booker, you had Crowder, you had Bridges. Yep. You had perimeter players.
Yeah.
I want to throw something out there real quick, Coach. Is Chris Paul done in Phoenix?
No.
I don't think with that contract, I don't think he's really going nowhere.
I don't think so.
We said that. Hold on, wait.
He signed an extension last year, right?
Yeah.
Wait. We said that he couldn't be traded before all that money. Remember when he was with the Clippers? Oh, he got all that money. He's not going to be able to be moved, and he was moved. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
But he's now an older man.
Yep.
And
we said the same thing then.
Well,
he was older.
You always can move.
We kept saying he was older and he's owed too much money.
Well,
that's all I just wanted to throw in there.
We'll see where he ends up.
I don't think he's going to be moved.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be moved.
Will he retire?
Why retire and you got all that money on the plate?
If he moves, who are you going to bring in?
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm like. Yeah, where is he going?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, like people want to make trades, like move him, fire him. Well, who are you going to bring in?
What if he wants to be moved?
Who's going to take him?
What? That happens every day. That happens every day in the NBA. Players move themselves from teams they don't want to no longer be on. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. Do I need to go on? It happens all the time.
You're missing one thing.
No.
They don't want to be somewhere. They find a way to get out.
You named superstars. Superstars can get moved, not players.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
That is true. That is very true. Superstars. Yeah.
I remember a movie called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. His name was Tucker. He had it written on his chest, "Trade me."
Okay, so Chris Paul going into next season will be 39 years old.
Yeah. And he's got to be making like 30, 40.
40 something.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody picking up that contract. But we got to move on to the next topic.
Trade James Harden. Jesus Christ. $50 million. Jeez.
What's the next topic?
Yeah, Doc Rivers had the wrong prescription for the 76ers and was fired today. Guys, how do you feel about that, Emerson?
Listen, it's I saw this writing on the wall when they were bounced out. And Doc has blown it time and time again. Do we need to go down that list? And due to the interest of time, I'm not going to go into that. But he's had several series that he had the lead, 3-game lead. He up 3-1, up 3-2, and he just couldn't close out teams. There has to be something with his closeout adjustments. I just don't know. I love him as a great guy. I think Doc Rivers is a great guy. He's a great individual. He's good for basketball. But no, you cannot coach my team any longer. I'm sorry. You didn't get us there. And remember, there was, who was that? Who gave up picks to get Doc Rivers one year? I mean, we have put Doc Rivers on a major pedestal. Let's go back now. We have put him on a major pedestal as X and O's guys, and Doc can get the best out of players. But Doc just seems to keep losing these big major series. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So yes, he needed to be fired. I'm sorry, Doc. You'll get a job in the booth somewhere. Somebody, one of those networks will hire you because you're a great X and O guy.
Terry.
I think it's what you're starting to see is his history is starting to dictate him getting fired, and also how long teams are willing to give him, in terms of the number of years they'll allow him to coach a team. He had a great team in Boston. I don't want to take anything away from him there. He did win a championship, but after that, he had, you look at the collapses that he had, up 3-1 in series. He was up against Boston. Closeout game this year in Philly. You got to close the deal on that.
Thank you.
They should have never made it back to Boston. But I have to look at James Harden's performance in this game 7. And some of the blame has to go there. Now, Doc will get the majority of the blame because of his history. But, your superstars have to show up in game 7. They have to. On the road, at home, you got to show up. But unfortunately for Doc, he's a good coach. I'm not going to take that away from him, but he has a talented team. You have Maxey, Tobias Harris is a talent.
And the MVP.
Obviously, you have MVP and Joel Embiid.
Thank you. We've been waiting to trust the process. We've been trying to trust the process. The process is past. There's no more process. Reject.
Right. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but this is what Doc Rivers has become. His how should I say, reputation is he can't close the deal.
And can I just add this, Terry, Gorby, before you go on to the next topic? And when he won in Boston, there were 2 ticky-tack fouls in that series where they could have lost that game, and he wouldn't have no championship there either. Go ahead. I just wanted to throw that in there.
From a Lakers
there were 2 ticky-tack fouls. Yes, I said it. that went Boston's way, and he probably wouldn't have won that at that time.
Well,
Well,
I'll say.
for you,
Go ahead, Bryant.
I'll just say that for Doc, there's this spot in New York, anybody would call it do or die, best die. So it was do or die for him. Everybody knew it was either win it all or he was getting fired. And unfortunately, they just couldn't pull it through. I was wondering in the game, I was like, well, when are you going to double team and take the ball out of Tatum's hands? I was like, you got Joel Embiid out there on the island on pick and rolls, and you expected him to stop him. I'm like, take the ball out of his hand. So, Doc, no more house calls, no more prescriptions. I think this might be it. He can get a job in the booth or something.
is Jeff still there?
Yeah, you there? Jeff, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think?
What are we talking about, Doc?
Yeah.
What was the question? Did he take the blame, brother? Aaron?
How do you feel about Doc Rivers getting fired?
Well, like I said, you have to blame someone. Sometimes the scapegoat is the coach. And I don't think Harden gave him a vote of confidence in his interview to the Brass ownership. So, but Doc has had 3 straight years that he hasn't gotten out of the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So,
yeah,
but to Doc's defense, I mean, through his history, Doc's only had three losing seasons in like what 27, 26, whatever it is.
Yeah,
he's got over 1,000 wins. So you give him a lot of you give him a lot of leeway.
Yeah,
but like I said before, you fire a guy like Doc Rivers, who do you bring in? But right now it's a coaching market right now because there seems to be a lot of, and this is not the normal to have so many top coaches from what two of the last 3 NBA champions from Toronto and Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially Milwaukee, you still have a championship league caliber team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A premium job right there.
So, and Toronto's got a lot of nice pieces.
Yes, they do.
A lot of nice pieces up there.
I hope Mark Jackson gets an interview. I hope Mark Jackson gets an interview.
He's not getting an NBA job.
It's a shame.
You want Mark Jackson to get the job? Why you want Mark Jackson to get the job? Because he's a good coach, and you think he's the guy?
I still think Mark Jackson got a raw deal with the whole Golden State thing, and I would love to see him back in the NBA with a head coaching job.
Yeah. Well.
So you think he's a good coach, or you just want to give him a chance?
I want to give him another chance. Yes.
I'm just asking.
Because I think he did a good job with the Splash Brothers before they were the Splash Brothers. Yes. And then Steve Kerr came along and got a whole lot of credit there.
Yeah, I thought he built a good foundation, but
what did he do? What did Mark Jackson do behind the scenes to be blackballed?
It was something the owners didn't like.
There's a bunch of coaches that have done worse.
But there's something that Mark Jackson did that he got completely blackballed.
There's coaches that have used slurs. There's coaches that have been arrested for DUIs, and they're coaching. So
being arrested for DUI, but to be blackballed, what did he do?
I don't know.
And for some odd reason, you don't hear the former players of Golden State saying, how come this man can't get a job?
Mm.
Well,
And
I
then
don't
they
see
stood up
Steve
for him,
Kerr.
though.
He's forgotten now, dude.
You know
He's
what?
forgotten. He's forgotten
He's
now.
forgotten
As
now,
far
but
as the
you know
Golden State
what?
players are concerned, there's only
But
2 players that were there really when he was there. Steph and Clay.
and who has the biggest voice in the NBA? Steve
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Yeah,
So how come he didn't ring the bell for this man?
He stood up for him. He stood up for him.
Yeah, he
But
did.
he didn't have that kind of clout then. He was just coming into the
He's got
league.
the
He was a
clout
baby.
now.
He was
He's
still
got the
trying
clout
to
now.
keep his ankles together.
He's got the clout now
Sure.
on ABC to say, how come Mark Jackson can't get a job?
Well, then that would be like,
He can't.
why when coaches say that, anybody would say that. Well, you just sticking out one person.
Yeah, but
Aaron, when something like that happens, it's not simple, but the logical thing is he got fired for something that wasn't related to basketball.
exactly. I totally agree.
Yeah.
It must
He
have been bad.
did something that was extremely bad for the NBA to say, we're done.
Because
And
had a coach.
Are they still going to pay James Harden $50 million for showing up late to the shoot around and hanging out the night before Game 7? Oh, anybody talking about that?
Yeah. Well, I do agree with you. I didn't like that comment that Harden said, the vote of confidence about Doc. I didn't like that.
Yeah, well, that just his and be honest with you, a lot of what he was saying wasn't coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
It's how he answered it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That is how he said it. Sometimes how you say it. And how he said it was like whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
James.
what Embiid said. I like playing for Doc, and James and others. That James is just like, which I don't understand, how he's become so, well, with Down Morrant there, I guess that's how he's become so powerful in the Philadelphia organization now.
I know.
Well,
I thought it would be Embiid, but
yeah.
Look what Harden did in
Houston.
Oh, I want this person. Give me Dwight Howard. Give me this one. Oh, I'm leaving there. No, I want to go to Brooklyn. Oh, send me to Brooklyn. Nope. You know what? I don't like it here. Somebody gave me a bad bagel on 42nd Street. I'm leaving. What else do you want, Harden? I mean, come on. And then in a Game 7, you play like this, and you're out the night
back
before.
Then he had
you
the
show
power
up late to the shoot around.
But he did have the power back then, Emerson, to do that.
And he makes $50 million this year.
And we're going to talk about something that'll make you smile and maybe perhaps make you sit up where that we can see you.
You can't see me?
You're sitting in the baby chair.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Huh?
Yeah, time out.
I'm just
anyway.
nice and comfortable, man.
Yeah, he'd be all right.
He's good.
Yeah.
Might be in the bathroom
nice
for all
hat
we
that you got
know.
on.
Exo Sports Talk.
Yep. That's all we can see, but we're going to move on from you. Oh, my goodness. The Lakers.
Ha!
Will the Lakers make it to the NBA championship? Terry.
It's a possibility they can, much like they've done so far in the playoffs, or much like he's done. Anthony Davis has to be the Anthony Davis that we all know he can be, and he's got to stay healthy. He's the key, in my opinion. He's what makes the Lakers go. But I also give credit to their role players. They have a solid team around Davis and LeBron. So D'Angelo Russell's a good, solid player, played big in that Golden State series. Lonnie Walker, kind of the dark horse coming out of this Golden State series. He's very talented. So I will once again give Rob Pelinka a lot of credit. He went out and he made some changes to this roster that I didn't think would be as effective as they are right now. So I got to give him credit, and I say they could do it. There's a chance they could do it, but they have to, like I say, Anthony Davis has to be Anthony Davis. For if it goes Game 7, he's got to be Anthony Davis for all 7 games of this series. He's the key.
Brian.
Well, I'm gonna say the same thing. I know in the beginning of the season we laughed and joked because of the roster that they had. We were saying the Lakers, we got no chance of getting to an NBA championship with Emerson liked it, Westbrook. And I was like, no, you're not gonna make it with this guy. But Rob Pelinka and they did make some hell of a moves to change that roster. I can't pronounce his name, Yama. The one from Washington that they picked up. I did not know he can play.
Rui Hachimura.
Or Chamara.
Rui Hachimura.
Yeah. There you go. I did not know he was that talented. Didn't really get to see him much in Washington because nobody watched Washington, but he is very talented. And then you got AR. I'm going to call him Augment Reality. He stepped up kind of big, came out of, nowhere. So he's playing good for the Lakers right now. So their bench is playing well. Their role players are playing well. But I'm still picking Denver to beat them, though. So, yes.
That's what we like.
Yeah, I think the Joker is going to show you all the cards, all the tricks. Joker's wild.
Yeah.
Joker's wild.
Well,
Jeffrey.
well.
Going back to what I referred to earlier about offense, I think if the Lakers, if Anthony Davis, like you've all alluded to, he's always the key because he's the unknown factor. If there's Anthony Davis of New Orleans shows up, Lakers to win in 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's up and down Anthony Davis. Then the Lakers are going to be up and down, and then you're going to need LeBron to win you, either LeBron or a role player to win you a game. But I'm going to go with the Lakers, though. I'm going to go with the Lakers. I think usually,
good choice.
Let's see if he can put on the cape again. Later in the playoffs, as LeBron senses the urgency, he turns it up.
Mm-hmm.
So and he's still a top 5 player in the league. So it's hard for me to go against, a team that has 2 superstars and another team that has 1.
Jeff, you just said LeBron has a sense of urgency. Is it that because he believes in this team now?
Well, yeah. I mean, belief is a very, very powerful thing, right? When you really believe in something, you're going to go extra because you believe it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and you've seen he stepped up his game, but not LeBron is also, you got to give him credit. LeBron's a leader.
Yeah.
Like he gets guys. If you look at the guys that he usually that comes play with him throughout his career from Cleveland to Miami and back to Cleveland, a lot of them had their best years playing with LeBron.
No doubt.
That's true.
No doubt.
So LeBron empowers, and he's becoming, I think, LeBron is becoming a better leader as he slows down being a better player. Because he's empowering his teammates more. Reed. Hey,
thank you, Jeff.
Take this.
Thank you, sir.
So that when you empower somebody and someone who's so, profound as a LeBron James, that makes you feel good that you're doing something right. And that if LeBron sees it, shoot, I must be doing something right. So you do it more. And LeBron's not the type of guy. There's a difference between LeBron and a Jordan. Like Jordan, he would, demoralize somebody, punch him in the chest, Steve Kerr. Like, that's not LeBron.
Yep.
But some people did it differently back then. And now you can't do that today. You got to be more massaging, more measured in what you say. And, and LeBron's better at that, I think, than anybody. Because if you look at the guy, Kevin Love, Kyrie best years early on.
Yeah.
Emerson.
You keep going down.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Well, I'm going to start off with you, Mr. Host. You said you would trade LeBron and Anthony Davis. I would blow this whole team up, get rid of everybody. I'm not going to waste my time with LeBron. You said that. We had you on record on this show, Mr. Host, talking about you would trade LeBron and Anthony Davis. Whoa, look where we are today. Oh, I'm not done.
I'm not done. Look at my face right now.
I'm not done. I'm coming, huh?
Oh,
here I am. Yeah,
you go to Alabama too if you want.
So, with all that being said, Mr. Host,
what was said? All I heard you do was a blah 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 blah.
You said you would trade LeBron. Yeah. You would have traded Anthony Davis.
Absolutely.
All of that you said. And now, where would you be without those two players? Where would this Laker organization be at without those two players right now? Look where they're at in the Western Conference Finals right now. And hold on. And this is the same guy. This is the same guy that woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning and went to the gym, and other players left the hotel room to get up shots with him last night. Talking about that leadership, Jeff, that's what he does. Okay? That's pedigree. That's having a pedigree. I can smell the blood in the water like a shark because it's game time. It's on. This is the playoffs, baby. There is no tomorrow. We put it all on the line right now. Here's a guy, 38 years old, 20th year in his season, doing the things he can do. Mr. Dillon Brooks, you want to poke the bear, Dillon Brooks? Okay, I'm going to show you how old I am. You heard what he told him. He said, what's my date of birth? Remember, he kept asking Dillon Brooks, what's my date of birth? Yeah, and then Jermichael Green, or you gonna say something and poke the bear on Twitter, knowing LeBron is all over Twitter? Are you out of your mind? And here he is right now, gonna show you just how old he is. Watch the old man in action, because he's gonna show you that he's gonna bring a championship to the Los Angeles Lakers one more time.
Shall we play a game?
Yes.
Man, you got to get all that out.
I said in the beginning that I would trade LeBron.
Yep.
And I would trade Anthony Davis.
Trade LeBron averaging 30 points a year. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Keep going. Keep going.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
LeBron is 38 years old, and this is his 20th season. And the way LeBron has been playing the last 2 years, he was not worth keeping. Now, LeBron, I said in the beginning of the season, I would trade LeBron.
Yep.
I also said I would trade Mr. Eyebrows because he doesn't stay healthy. Well, guess what? They're healthy and they're winning right now. And at the end of the season, I would still try to trade LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Wow.
And here's why. If you do not win an NBA championship, LeBron does not get he's going to get older. It is time to cut bait. If he doesn't win an NBA championship, it means nothing. All you can say is LeBron finished strong, but he didn't get the NBA championship. The Laker organization The Laker fans are about NBA championships. Now, if LeBron wins an NBA championship, the fans will demand that you bring him back. Bottom line.
Aaron, when you said it, only one thing that stuck out to me when you said LeBron in his last 2 years didn't play well. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want to interrupt them. I mean, 20, 27, 29 points a game.
It's like this. If you're scoring the points, right, and LeBron was injured majority of the time last year. So when LeBron was injured, when he was putting up the points, he was putting up the points. But when he was injured, how did it help the team?
What are you talking? Dude,
he's old, Emerson. He's old.
We understand how old he is, but do you see what he's doing at his age?
Okay, so
I've seen young guys get.
Let me ask you this: if LeBron loses this series and doesn't make it to the finals, what happens?
You bring him back and you rally the troops again. He averages 29 points in his 20th year.
Aaron, is he just say right now? Is he top 5? Top 5 right now?
LeBron top 5 at his age?
Right now. Whatever you want to say.
Player. Whatever you want to call him. Call him a rookie if you want.
I can't believe you're thinking about it. Think about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not looking at it from a fan perspective. I'm looking at it from a business perspective.
Oh, come on.
What am I going to get? No, you, Emerson, you, Brian, you, Terry,
even if you
Jeff
say
knows. I don't look at things like as the fan, and especially Emerson knows, I look at it from a business perspective.
All right, so business perspective
says to me, if I can get something for LeBron right now, that's going to help my team 6 to 7 years from now, why wouldn't I do it?
What could you get? What could you NBA? My friend, you don't have 6 or 7 years in the NBA.
Well,
there's a 2-3 year window that you have.
Coaches are getting fired.
Home.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 6 years from now?
6 years. Nobody's waiting for that. You heard. You saw trust in the process. What happened?
Let me ask you this. Okay.
Trust in the process.
I know the guy over there on this couch is a little hyper right about now. But Jeff, if you had an opportunity to get a lottery pick for LeBron, would you take it? Okay. Brian, if you had a chance to get a lottery pick, would you take it for LeBron?
Today?
Yeah.
No.
Terry?
No. And I'll just tell you why. You look at it from the business side, you don't know how that lottery pick is going to
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, LeBron's selling jerseys. He's putting butts in the seats.
Thank you. And you know how many lottery, before you even ask me, you know how many lottery players aren't even in basketball anymore? Lottery players.
And let me give you another one, Aaron.
Basketball.
Lottery. Ja Morrant. We know he's a talent on the court. Can't stay on the court. You got Zion Williams.
We're going to get to that.
Can't stay on the court. But so you're saying
a bunch of lottery players.
You're talking about giving away the face of the NBA. You're talking about arguably one of the best players ever for a lottery pick.
It's about the money. Even if you don't win a championship,
lottery players,
some
of them aren't even playing anymore.
Well,
speaking of lottery, San Antonio got the #1 pick.
Ooh. Is Coach Pop still there? Is he leaving? Was he leaving?
He's still there.
He's still there, right?
He's still there.
That's a good place for him to go because they run a nice offense, you know.
Yeah,
it goes. Yeah, that's a good place for him to go.
The list of big men: David Robinson, Duncan.
A lot of cutting, moving.
But they said they were They said they were.
Did the
kinda
Knicks
load
get the 10 spot?
management.
Anybody know? Did Dallas get 10 or something? Anybody know?
Dallas went. I can't remember. Yeah.
Is that concrete for Dallas? Because weren't they looking into them for like tampering for sitting?
They just gave him a suspension. They fined him. I think $250,000. That's nothing.
Well,
let me see. Jeff, you still there?
You guys, I respect your opinion, and I take your opinion and I flush it down the toilet. Because I stand by mine.
29
with
points.
Lysol.
Name me a player at 38 years old that averaged 29 points in the NBA.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Give it to me, Gore. Give it to me, Aaron.
I am.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
If we're all general managers, we all have our philosophy on how we would run a team.
I got to freeze it though. You said, is he a top 5 player? You said.
You said, out there running down the court, playing 40 plus minutes a night. 40 plus minutes a night in a playoff game. You got to question that? Are you kidding me?
LeBron said in the interview when he played in the first round, he said, what really helped him in this game was we had an extra day off for him to regroup.
Okay.
Because he was able to get his rest.
Yeah, that's
anybody. He said if he didn't have that time, he didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
So what is that? That's age.
Brother, Gore, he was outrunning guys that were 10 years younger.
I'm not taking that.
Running these guys down the court.
I'm not taking that away from LeBron. All I'm saying is what LeBron said.
Okay.
Having that extra day off extremely helped him.
When you give LeBron extra days off, you're in trouble. That's
right.
When the league needs to be on notice.
LeBron was basically saying if he didn't have that rest, they wouldn't have beat him.
Well, they played every other.
I'm not making these words up.
Well, they played every other. They played every other night against the Golden State Warriors, one of the toughest teams to play against, and he beat them 4-2 every other night.
What was the team they played in the first round?
Memphis.
Which I thought the cards fell out perfect for.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they fell out perfect for the Lakers. But you had Memphis that was a mess. The Ja whole thing. Him just coming back.
Steven Adams was hurt.
Yep.
Out.
And then you got the Warriors and Jordan Poole and Clay. They just didn't show up. But Lakers play well though, so I'm not taking nothing back from Bar. I just thought the deck fell good for you guys.
Did you hear what Steve Kerr said today?
No.
What
he said?
He said he doesn't think the team ever came together after the fight, the punch between Draymond and Poole.
Yeah, that could have played a factor.
I can see that.
That definitely could have played a factor.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And Poole had his first words again about that. Yep.
So
they have an interesting offseason.
Yep. I think Draymond's gone.
He has a player option.
I think even if he picked up the option, I think he's still gone. I think for the coach to come out and say that the team wasn't the same since the fight, that's not healing. That's basically coming out with a butcher knife saying, we're going to cut this off. We're going to release him.
Yeah, they ain't going to release him.
And I, you know what? I would not be surprised. I think they will try to trade him.
You can try and trade him, but you ain't going to release him. Yeah, it's a difference.
But how many teams do you think are going to run after Draymond?
That's the dilemma you're in. That's why I said he has a player option. So if he picks up the option, what are you going to do? You going to cut him?
You trade him.
You just said nobody's going to take him.
Then you know what you're looking at? You're looking at maybe biting a bullet
Well,
and just giving a flat out release. Here's your money. Get out of here.
what I will say is they do have a couple of other young kids. And the whole thing, I thought Kuminga took a back. See, he didn't progress the way we thought he was. He kind of fell backwards. But they still got some younger players that's coming in that they drafted last year.
Guys,
Baldwin and another point guard.
we want to wish Brittany Griner welcome back from Russia prison and welcome back to the WNBA. Burn, girl, burn. Light them up.
Yeah.
We are happy that you are back and can't wait to see you light them up in the NBA.
Yeah, they kick off this season Friday. How many games, T,
Yep.
did you say it was?
WNBA.
4 games.
4 games Friday night.
Yep. So you can check that out.
WNBA.
How is that going to work? Is there NBA games on?
I don't know.
They probably have games on, but the championship will probably dance around it. The WNBA will probably dance around it.
They must have their games on during the day.
WNBA?
On a Friday, 4 games. Well, no, unless they playing all at the same
NBA's not
time.
going to play until maybe Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Yeah.
I'll take a
Guys, Terry, please tell them about the subscribe button.
Ja Morant. Do we get into that a little bit?
You can say something about him, but the clock is almost up.
All right. Well, it'll be old news next week, but everybody knows Ja Morant has been suspended, and I think Adam Silver is going to make an example out of him this time. This is his second time, with some form of guns, and I think he's going to make a major example out of him, and he's going to send a message throughout the league that we will not tolerate this type of behavior. And it's a shame because he's such a wonderful basketball talent.
And not only what I say is an example, it will be a justified example if that's the case, because it's only been 2 months. Same issue.
Terry, how many games should he be suspended?
He might get suspended for the full season, man. Let's face it, they cut him a break. The first go around, what was it, 6 games?
Exactly.
Yeah.
8 games or something. Yeah.
It'd be a different situation if this happened 2 years from now, but to do it again in less than 3 months, 4 months, there's going to be a message sent, and it's unfortunate because he's a talented player. And I know he just got his own shoe from Nike. So
Scratch that.
Done.
It's
Scratch
gonna hurt.
that.
It's gonna hurt.
Brian.
I think you got to give him the year. Yeah, I think, like Terry said, he got a break before, and I think if you give him half the season, I don't know. The only reason I'm going to say you should give him a full season, because if you give him half, he see the promised land that he's still going to be able to play, make it to the playoffs. No. Sit down the whole season and reflect on it, what your actions is causing. Yeah.
You got to feel it.
So,
Emerson.
He needs to be suspended the whole year, and he needs to get into some type of counseling, some type of personal management training, life coach. He needs all of that.
better friends.
If I'm in the league, I wouldn't put one year to it. I would just say it's suspended indefinitely.
I don't know if the union would go for that, but
the reason why I think the union would also go for that, you don't want this can of worms to start opening up where other players start acting stupid.
But what is indefinitely?
Well, indefinite means that you have the option to go 1 year. And if he acts up in that year, well, you're under indefinitely. So that can go beyond another season.
So So you talking
So
about
you-
almost like the NFL, like you're out of the league and get reinstated. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. That's
No,
what
you're
that's what it
basic.
sounds like
No,
you're saying.
I'm
Indefinitely.
basically saying you say indefinitely because
Yeah.
indefinitely can go on. It can go past a year. It can
Yeah.
go for a
So,
lifetime.
like
That's
you said, that's
So-
getting reinstated, like Brian said. You
yeah,
know,
pretty much.
you're no longer part of this brand, this NBA
Yeah.
brand, this
Yeah.
multi-billion-dollar brand that we have.
Adios.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're taking it a step further. Okay.
When you're showing guns, nobody wants to see that with their product.
Yeah.
And that's what the NBA is. It's a product.
And let me say this: Richard Jefferson had his kids, and that situation came on TV. And his kids, his 6-year-old and his 8-year-old, and Richard Jefferson was explaining today on ESPN. He said his kids knew that was wrong, and he didn't know what to say to them. He didn't know what to say. And he said if his 6-year-old and his 8-year-old know that's wrong to be playing with guns, then something needs to happen.
So why would you give them a year instead of just saying out indefinitely?
Hey,
Like,
because
You gave-
like we
you-
like we
you
said,
gave him, you
the
gave him,
union
you cut him a break.
the union was probably going to step in at some point, you know. So
How many teams are in the NBA?
oh God,
32?
30.
Okay,
Yeah.
32 teams. You know what? Each owner put up $10 million. We in case we lose this lawsuit, but we can't let this kid back in right now.
Mm.
Yeah, well,
You can't let him back in.
You got to go and see what they have established. I'm sure they have some wording around it, and
You know what? Even if I paid out his contract, goodbye. You're no longer part of the league.
No, that
I can't
has to
have-
happen. You have to start setting an example on these players. Like, listen, you're not going to play in this league. If this behavior continues happening, you know, he's at the strip club with $50,000 all over the place. You know, he's got guns on planes. He's you know
what? If a guy, you know what?
then
If a
you go
guy's
beat
at
up
a
somebody at his sister's
if
volleyball
a
game.
guy is at a
Mhm.
strip club,
I'm just
that's on
saying.
him.
Yeah.
But if a guy, if you're talking about showing handguns, saying, you know what, blah blah, this is the way I live. Know what? No, I to me that's going a little too far.
Let's not forget the
I
laser.
Let's not forget the laser. Let's not forget he went to his sister's basketball game or her volleyball game and threatened to punch up somebody there. Don't forget about the other incident at the mall with the parking lot attendant. I think he punched somebody in the face there. I mean, I don't know. These are all alleged. Okay, these are all alleged.
No, I think you don't give him a year. You just say he's out. He's suspended indefinitely because the league
Sad.
cut him
He's
some
such a great
slack.
talent.
Cut him a lot of slack by suspending him. What was it, 8 or 10 games?
Yeah.
Well,
He got a
first
big
time.
break. He
Yeah.
got a big break.
yeah,
But then
And
when
so
they
you
did
turn-
that one, though, Aaron, they didn't really say when. They just said he was suspended. And nobody really knew how many games. It was just
Exactly.
like,
We were waiting for that.
And then next thing you know,
So-
he can come back in 8 games.
I'm afraid we're going to be talking about what Ja Morant could have been. I got a feeling we're going to be saying that. What
I mean,
Ja
that's-
Morant could have been
Yeah.
if he had kept his head on straight. And
That's
he'll
what
be
I
a great he'll be a great playground legend somewhere back in his hometown. He'll be putting up numbers at a high school gym somewhere and pick up games and
He might be playing. He might
yeah.
play in China or he might play in Russia.
that's my
Yeah.
fear. I fear that he'll be on a 30 for 30.
Yep.
And I
We'll
hate
hear
to- I
that.
would
We'll
hate
hear
to
that
see from
story.
young man.
You know,
And
And
here's the kicker:
let's
all
not-
his money would be
he just
gone.
might,
All
if
his friends
he
would be
doesn't
gone.
get it, if he doesn't get his head on straight, he just might wind up 30 for 30 in jail. Hearing
Yeah.
his story from there.
yeah,
Oh, that
because
too.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at it.
And the other thing about it is, if
That's
you're
what normally
carrying a
happens.
gun, if you're carrying guns, showing guns like that on videos, guess what? Somebody just might be out there waiting for you with a gun.
Yeah, but you got Nike. You got all these endorsements you can have as a wonderful young man.
You got the
If you can
bag.
keep your health. You got everything.
Got
And
the
this is what you
bag.
choose to do.
And
Guys,
you throwing it
this was
away, just
awesome.
throwing it away.
Where the people around him that tell him,
Yeah.
speak to him.
Yep. Call
Oh,
him
those
up,
are the
Adam.
same
Call him
people
up.
who's videoing it. I'm like, why would you?
Yeah.
Why are you videotaping it for?
Because it's money.
You're crazy.
Viewership.
Well, those are the people he's hanging with.
Yep.
It's not like he don't see the camera. They in the same car with him.
Yep.
Oh,
Trying to get their own piece of the pie.
Yep.
Guys, it was good. Terry, please tell them about that subscribe button, if you will.
Once again, we want to thank everybody for watching the show tonight or listening in, and we'll be back next week. So please hit that subscribe button so you know when we go live. Once again, we not only talk about sports, but it's for the love of the game.
Yep.
yeah. Shout out to Coach Jeff. Spending time, man,
Coach
and
Jeff,
shouting
thank
out.
you, man, for hanging out with us.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Malcolm, we'll see you next week, man. Hopefully, man.
Brian, hit that music.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do.
We go out with no music. Somebody can sing it.
Yeah.
Aaron, you can do your singing now.
Come on, Aaron.